What's going on, guys? You got your local ham sandwich here with another local feature match. Today we've got Fat Tony on the left with Rescue-ACE, Diabell Star, and myself on the right with Centurion. I'm going to start with Premier. Met with an Imperm. I'm going to have this stand up anyway. Discarding a stand up to put Primera, or Trudea in the back row, rather. Trudea effect to jump out, Trudea effect to go back in for the Emmet. And then special the Emmet. And then go for the Sinker Summon. Yugioh to draw. And set a card and get Primera back in the end phase. Basic Centurion combo, but it does get much better than that, as you know. As hinted by my playmat. Fat Tony going to start with the Prosperity. I don't have an Ash Blossom. I do have an Effect Veiler, but that's not going to be useful yet. Fat Tony did show his hand originally. I did see he drew an Imperm for turn, so it was Ash, Imperm, Upstart, Prosperity, and I think another Ash. I'm going to grab the Hydrant as a starter there, and I'm going to go ahead and synchro into my Crimson Dragon. Get the Phalanx for follow-up. Phalanx is just a really good card in case he removes Yugioh. I can just get it back, use it as a discard fodder for the stand-up. I believe I have Terraforming in my hand, which is why I didn't search the third stand-up. That's going to go for the Upstart Goblin. This is where I make a pretty big mistake in the hindsight. Going for the Crimson Dragon into the Calamity against an empty board, he is just going to drop the Imperm on it. I should have waited for him to establish the Hydrant. But no worries, especially since his hand is just okay. Go for the Diabell Star to get the Wanted, rather the Wanted into the Diabell Star, and Diabell Star Summon to get the original Sinful Spoils, but that's where I'm going to drop the Effect Veiler, probably the best spot to do it with his limited resources. I know he has Hydrant though, so he still has plays, which is fine. I want to say my face down is an Imperm now, so an Imperm or a Book of the Moon. Just explaining the effects here of what's protected. The field spell is protected, and any monster I have with 2000 or less is protected, but Yugioh itself is not protected. That's what Fat Tony really wants to know here. Into the Link Karibo, and then most likely go into an SP here. First going to go into the Preventer. Go for the Dark. And no dark targets, he's just using it to climb into the access code line here. As we know, is fine, because I've got the Phalanx that can just bring back Yugioh after he pops it. 3 counters on Celine, but he doesn't really have a need for the counters. Just going to go into his access code. Access code pop both my monsters. Just double checking if Calamity has any protection, which it does not, but he's just going to pop Field Spell and Calamity. Off turn, of course, I already have the Terraforming. He is going to Ash it, but I do believe I draw, yeah, triple tag. And either way, Trudea can get me to a Primera, which can get me to that last stand-up. cards in hand for Fat Tony, only the beefed up access code, which is not long for this world. Go for the stand up. In effect, sending the Phalanx and getting the Emmet. And I'm going to go for the Phalanx effect to get back the Legatia to get its trigger effect, and Fat Tony's just going to scoop. I'm going to go to game 2. Alright, game 2, Fat Tony going first here. Drawing a much better hand than before. Starting with the Wanted, I don't think I have any hand traps here, besides potentially an Imperm. Going into the Hydrant. Going into the Airlifter Summon for our spell, Emergency, most likely going into Turbulence. Yep, and then sending the Airlifter, Turbulence effect, get 4. Again, without many hand traps, it's a decently oppressive board. You can also end on an SP most likely, which if memory serves correctly, he does do that. You can get the Preventer off of the Alert. And Preventer banish the Hydrant, or the Airlifter rather. Go into an SP, no banish effect, not necessary. Set one more card, and then just draw a card off the original. Tony almost mistaking his graveyard for something else. Draw a card, and then pass it over to me with an SP and 4 back row. We're gonna go for the Rescue to get the Hydrant, to get the second effects on his trap cards. Always good. I'm gonna go end of battle phase into evenly matched just to contest the SP for the turn. Just to make sure my plays are insulated. Don't get any damage, of course. He's going to keep that one face down, most likely an Imperm, since we know that's not one of the 4 that he set off of the Turbulence. I'm going to go for Terraforming into a stand-up. I'm going to go for a Desires. Technically speaking, I should have Fat Tony cut before I banish for cost, but live and learn. It's a Locals, not a huge deal. I'm gonna go for stand up, discarding the other desires that I drew. I'm gonna go for the Trudea. Main effect, of course. And we met with an Imperm. I'm gonna use the Book of Moon here, my favorite interaction in this deck. He is gonna call that that's the Imperm column, but it doesn't negate the column until Resolution. That one Imperm is foreign, but we are confirming here that column is not negated until Resolution. But anyway, booking Trudea, since the effect says she puts herself in the back row as a face-up continuous spell, she'll go face down and then back face up into the back row, which is a really, really cool interaction. You should really play Book of Moon in this deck solely for that, in my opinion. I'm going to get the Primera most likely. So we're going to go for the Emmet. So I think I have a normal summon Primera in my hand. In fact, I do. No search targets off of the Primera since the one of Phalanx was banished. I'm gonna go for the Legatia, do draw a card, set a card, and then set a card in the back row, which I believe is an Imperm I drew off of Desires. along with the Primera in the back row. It is an Imperm. I'm trying to avoid that SP. And searching off of the Hydrant here into, looks like a Preventer. Now here I have my triggers. I am going to go Chain 2 Droll on the search, and then Chain 3 to Synchro, Chain 4 Emmet, into the Crimson Dragon. Pass play pack to Fat Tony. Big think here after that Droll, unfortunately. Just happened to draw it off of Legatia, which just a bit devastating. He's going to go for the second SP here, since the first one was impermed. Or at least he's thinking about it. I think it's what he's going to do in the end. He has that Impulse in his hand, trying to think on if he should activate it yet. Or I guess Impulse can't activate until I use a monster effect from hand. I think he is going to decide on the second SP, trying to banish my Legatia. I'm forced to chain Crimson Dragon in there to get to something. Now here Fat Tony does chain the Impulse to special the Airlifter. Now again, a mistake here. I should not have gone into Calamity, as it is going to miss timing here. I need to go into Cosmic Blazar to keep playing. But we are just going to go into Game 3 after that. I have not really much else to play off of here. Even with that crazy hand, I think that was just a crucial mistake. I needed to... Yeah, just Blazar or even Red Supernova would have been better there than Calamity. But we're going to go into Game 3 here. Game 3, I'm going first. Don't think Fat Tony drew a very good hand. I'm going to go into the Emblema in draw phase. Not necessarily like necessary to do Emblema in draw phase. I just prefer it as a quick play. Even though it's troll proof, it doesn't really add. I'm going to go main and then Trudea effects. Fat Tony accidentally showing me the Droll, targeting the Trudea with the Book of Moon, and once again, Book of Moon interaction is just incredible. Get to the Primera. Go into special Primera. And adding the Phalanx, since I already have a stand-up in hand. Fat Tony not wanting to Droll me now that he knows that I have it, or rather I know that he has it by accident. So I am going to go for my Desires. Just for a little extra. I think even if you have full combo, Desires is fine just to get more interruptions. See, I draw an anti-spell and an Imperm there, I believe. Gonna actually stand up already had in hand, sending the Phalanx for additional follow-up. I'm going to set back the Emmet. And then I'm going to go into Legatia to draw a card. Looks like I drew some kind of spell card, potentially another Book of Moon. End phase Legatia, get the Primera. I actually think those are two anti-spell there, which I should have just shotgunned one of them in response to the Pank. But I think in the end I don't actually put down one of these anti-spells. Not that it like super mattered, but yeah, I think in response to the Pank I should have shotgunned it so he couldn't destroy it. I just didn't. Not that I knew he had emergency in hand, but I think that would have just slowed him down a lot. We're going to search on the hydrant. Go for the preventer here. Questioning when these two can special summon. Since we're in the main phase, they can just special summon at spell speed 2. Going for an emergency, I believe. I'm going to chain to synchro summon. And I am even going to chain my phalanx to get back my my Legatia, because I know he's going to summon Turbulence off of this emergency. Potentially it would have been smarter knowing I had the pop effect to not summon Turbulence, but we're going to go chain 1 Legatia to draw and pop, and then chain 2 search, chain 3 synchro, chain 4 Emmet. Go back into the Crimson Dragon. Draw and pop the Turbulence before it can activate. Double checking that my effects are legal. I know they are, but never hurts to check these things in case the game state needs repaired. Go into the Link Kuriboh, and then I think he has a preventer in hand that he can banish. Yeah, he's gonna do the same Song and Dance, Impulse, chain to my Crimson Dragon, but this time I do Learn. Go into the Blazar. But now I have officially synchro summoned twice on this turn, so Typhon is live. I'm gonna go into the second Turbulence. Kind of needs to go into it at this point. Reading on Blazar, it is an Omni Negate plus Battle Fader, which is just really nice, but it is 4,000 attack, so hard loses to Typhon, which is exactly what Fat Tony's gonna do here. Put Typhon over his Link Kuriboh. I do effect Veiler the Turbulence before he gets the other 4 cards. Just kind of shutting off some of his plays there. Typhon, send the Quasar. It cannot respond because it cannot activate. If it could pay its cost, that'd be cool. But it just can't activate, so I do take 39 damage there. We're getting a bit closer to time here, unfortunately. So, yeah, as we approach time here, I'm going to try to play, do my best here, try to get this game back, but definitely just in this match, some slight mistakes that cost me in some instances. I do think I still played well, and I had just really good hands. But I mean, that's the whole point of recording myself, right? Is to learn from my mistakes. Potentially, I am thinking a bit too long here in terms of what I want to do as time approaches, but I am just going to special both my monsters and go for a search for another stand-up. I have to remove this Typhon, like, badly. Just be able to do something on the next turn. Which really means I'm just going to synchro summon into Legatia again. No effect, of course, which sucks. So I can't get one of the monsters off the board or further card advantage. So So Legati is just a body. I'm going to attack into the Typhon for 600 damage. That's the only damage I've done this turn, or this game rather. So I'm already down in life points. Magnemite. Banishing my Effect Veiler for some follow-up. And then I believe time is called very quickly here. Or we were told we have only a few seconds left. I'm going to try to go for a Chaos Angel play here. I forgot to search off the Magnemite. Not that it mattered. There's the time on round. So I do lose in time, but again, I think a very good match with Fat Tony here. So yeah, definitely like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Definitely make sure you guys let me know if you want to see the deck profiles from me or any of the guys I have on the channel. And I'll see you next time.